Okay, so I had an issue with number 2 cylinder on my car, and it looked like it was a faulty injector, except these things rarely fail. So strangely enough, when we changed the plugs, the plug was black, and that's a sign of overfueling. So that might lead to like a coil pack or a poor spark or something like that. However, we changed the spark plugs and changed the coil packs around and fault found, and it still led to the injector. So what I'm doing here is a test, and I can't take credit for inventing this test because I did look on YouTube for it. However, I'm using some Wins carb cleaner, and the good thing about it is it's got quite a thick nozzle. You can see that there. So it means you can attach a hose on it. Great, I can use the pressure of the can to test the injector. Now, I've used a bit of old vac hosing. You can see that there. So I've used a bit of vac hosing and attached it to the injector and clipped it on. So that'll hold the pressure in. These 2 wires here, they're just some crimp wires that have attached to the injector. And down here, I've got a 9-volt battery. So all I'm doing is going to use the voltage to open the injector. Now you might be able to hear this when I actually do open it, and you might see some stuff squirt out because it is pressurized. So here we go. You hear that? That's the injector opening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pressurize the can a bit. You can see the hose sort of bulge. Now watch the injector spray. And there we go. That is a functioning injector. So what I'm going to do now is replace it for the non-functioning one, and you can see why it just didn't work. Okay, so I've put the other injector on. This is the faulty one, so hopefully you can see the difference between the two. One thing I will say is you can see the cable ties on the end of the nozzle and the clamp on the end of the injector, because there is quite a bit of pressure. So unless you put it down tight, it will come off. So just think about that. Using the 9-volt battery that I mentioned before, you don't need to use a 12-volt, but a 1.5-volt will not be enough. So 9-volt battery, a bit easier to cart around than a car battery. So here we go. I'm going to pressurize the vessel, and you'll watch because it leaks. Look, it's leaking. And you have to remember that there is 40 psi. 40 psi. Nowhere near what's in that tube. 40 psi coming through your fuel rail, and it's leaking. That's why it was running rich. When I open the injector, we get a bit of spray. But the problem being that, pressurize it again, it's leaking. Look at it leaking. Shouldn't do that. It shouldn't do that at all. And that is why the injector's faulty. And there it's opened, it stays open. And that's why it runs poor. And that is why we were getting a telltale black carbon deposit, which is running rich, so it would point you to ignition. But I just thought it'd be worthwhile you see it, and this is a simple test. So what did a tin of carb cleaner, 5-6 quid, a bit of hose lying round, nothing, a few crimps, pence, bit of wire, pence, 9-volt battery, couple of quid, and you'll clean your injectors. So worthwhile test to do, and worthwhile you just doing it on yours, really. Hope that helps. Okay, cleaned all the fuel system out, everything all the way going through, cleaned all the injectors, reattached everything. Shall we see how it goes? Prime it up. That's an idle. That's an idle. Noticed a loose coil pack there though, so give them a quick tighten, but otherwise, successful test. Engine works.